Call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I think Commodore's coming.
I have not heard otherwise.
I have not heard otherwise either, so I'm sure he's just maybe running a little late. Sometimes he does. All the board members are present. Mr. Conklin will announce the summer graduation.
So we did have sorry, I don't want Jet to yell. So we did offer the Regents exams because some students didn't need Regents exams in August. We offer Regents review and Regents test, and we did have three summer graduates, August graduates. So those students aren't here today. I did invite them, but they're moving on and doing good things. So we did have three graduates to add to the class.
That was students that didn't graduate from the first time?
From June, yes, they had to take an exam. So it was very beneficial for the students to offer the Regents prep and the exams here. I think we'll look at that next year as well. So,
Good.
Yep.
Who did we have graduate?
We had Gabby Dillis, Alexis Williams, and Vince Marchesen.
Good.
Good. Good. Superintendent's report.
First one is talk about, with the opening of school and the stressful opening of school with the threat being posted on social media. I can't say enough, a huge thank you to Deputy Grady. I texted him at 7 a.m. Sunday morning. He was right on it. Sullivan County Sheriff's Department, they worked, constant communication. I could not have asked for more communication and just collaboration on the whole process. They made sure that our students were safe, our staff was safe. That was the number one priority. They understood that. We did meet on Monday with our district safety team prior to the opening of school. We are going to meet with them again to debrief from this incident and to learn, because we always know you can always do better. So we are going to meet with it. I just hope everyone understands that during an active investigation, there are things that cannot be said. And that is the biggest thing. Communication from the district will be limited, but I'm always going to be there to communicate what I can. And when I can share it publicly, all I have to say is that without Deputy Grady, I would have been in more of a, turmoil on what to do. So I really want to commend his effort. Now, the week before, Superintendent Conference Day, teachers and staff attended 2 training days, and one day was a full day in Leader and Me, and that's our new framework for SEL. The bus drivers received this full day training. The next day, we had our regular Superintendent's Conference Day, and all I have to say is between the 2 days, we could have not gotten this done without the cafeteria help, the maintenance, our custodian, our cleaners. They did an awesome job making sure the school was up and ready to go. I don't know if you noticed the main hallway out there. It looks a little bit brighter, a little bit shinier. Thank you to our cleaners for buffing it and putting a conditioner to kind of bring out that terrazzo shine. So that was great. So I do appreciate all they did. School tax bills, they've been uploaded to the online portal. They have, according to our information, have been mailed.
Got mine today.
They've been mailed.
They're mailed.
They have been mailed.
Okay.
They're mailed.
Because all I could think about was 2018 when we didn't get the tax bill. So,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're not alone, by the way.
So those were uploaded. We did get the State Comptroller's Office released its final report regarding that audit of the sexual harassment training, our prevention training. I have finished our corrective action plan. That's been submitted to the state, and there was only one recommendation that we actually fixed in the beginning of last year. So that's an easy fix. Bond project update, we've submitted our paperwork to SCD. We are now in the queue, and they say it takes about 4 months, 3 to 4 months, they say, but we are in there. It's still in a good time frame to make sure we're in the right spot for bidding. So we're still in a good time frame for that. And the last two things, we have 2 new teachers joining us. We have Emily Logides, there she is. She is going to be our new high school English teacher. So she is joining us, and we're very excited. And then Sherry Savage, who wasn't able to attend the night, she will be the new 6th grade teacher at McKenzie. So both of them, I'm just looking forward to working with them. They're excited and they're ready to get started. So we have a full staff. So, and the last thing today we got from Action Towards Independence, they work with people with disabilities. They've partnered with NYSEG. They reached out to us and they have donated. They dropped off 25 backpacks today filled with back to school supplies. And it's supposed to go to children of lower socioeconomic, special ed kids, so people in need. And they have water bottles and paper and pencils and a lot of things, and it's just stuffed with backpacks. So they delivered today. We took pictures and posted those on the website and the Facebook. So I was very thankful for them reaching out. So that concludes my report.
Any questions from the board? Ms. Ferreira? All good? Moving on. Secondary principal report. Mr. Conklin.
Thank you. Sorry. Those kids, you know. I just want to piggyback to what Mrs. Ferrer said. Welcome, Emily, to the junior senior high school staff. I have to say, after, you know, the board approval tonight, she's willing to start on a Friday in a high school. So very excited for that. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right?
You can still go, yeah.
Don't throw her that.
So just real quick, my report. Enrollment as of opening day 2023, we have 235 students, with our senior class being the biggest one at 49 students. All right, so 235 strong. The first day of school went smoothly. We this year we went down to 2 lunch periods. It's been hot this week, I will say. So it's a crowded cafeteria, but I'm telling all the kids it's going to cool down eventually. So it's working out. I didn't predict the weather, but I really like the 2 lunch periods because it really can maximize what classes we can offer, and kids can get into classes, especially kids coming back from VOTEC as well. So, which brings us to my next point. VOTEC did start today, so our bus went up there for our VOTEC students, and we only have students attending during the AM VOTEC session, so that helps as well. They get back here and they're able to take classes at the junior senior high school. I had 2 assemblies today, one for 7th, 8th, and 9th, and one for 10th, 11th, and 12th. These assemblies were to review the student handbook and the code of conduct. So they went well, and you know, just the expectations and what a junior senior high school student should look like. And then the last thing, our open house is scheduled for Thursday, September 14th at 6:00 p.m. So looking forward to seeing parents coming to the school and, you know, meeting all the teachers. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Thank you, Mr. Conklin. Mr. Carpentier.
Thank you, Mr. Halleck. So yes, to piggyback off of what Mike said, it's been a very hot week at GRM. And so we've done the best we can with what we have there. We do have some air-conditioned rooms, and so just maneuvering classes around in different areas has helped immensely. I expect it to cool off a little bit tomorrow, which will help. We are currently sitting at 233 enrolled students at GRM. So nice job, Mike. You got a couple more. The true number there is actually 227. So we have to maintain students until we receive a records request from the new school district that they're registered in. So our true number is sitting at 227, but we currently have 233 enrolled. Our benchmarks for the end of the year 2022, 2023, for our STAR benchmark assessments, we had 2 grade levels meet the standard that we had talked about at GRM of 80%, and that is our kindergarten and our 1st grade. So that's a good sign that our younger kids are meeting that standard, and hopefully with the implementation of really great reading and other literacy programs that we are introducing, we'll see those numbers improve as well as across the board. But I do expect those numbers to be, my goal is to have everybody at 80% in the next few years, if not sooner. We've implemented really great reading, as well as the units of study for our writing curriculum. As Mrs. Ferreira stated earlier, Leader and me, teachers will begin teaching the 7 habits to students starting in a few weeks as they receive their training on the first conference day that we had in the beginning of this year. My fall clubs at the elementary school will begin the week of October 16th. Looking forward to that. And our student council will be elected on November 7th. We are looking for coaches for our Odyssey of the Mind teams, which we expect to do even better than we did last year. And my open house is on September 13th, the Wednesday, the day prior. That concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Carpentier? Okay. Thank you. Director of Instructional Support Services, Mr. Krebs.
All right, good evening. Everybody else took my thunder, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Leader in Me. The Leader in Me sets up what's called the Lighthouse Group, and the Lighthouse Committee is the one that oversees the Leader in Me program. And with that, I just want to say thank you to Vanessa McWilliams. She's our SEL coordinator, and she's pretty much overseeing the Lighthouse Group. And this week coming up, we'll have another sets of group underneath the Lighthouse Group. They have another 3 groups that are set up that we're seeking staff involvement in. One is looking at our culture of our building, one's looking at our leadership of our buildings, and one's looking at academics. So this year, because we started our Core 1 training, culture and leadership are the first 2 groups that we'll be meeting. And with that, we mean culture specifically about what does the building look like, what does the building feel like. So as part of our training, we got to see some videos and some opportunities that we can change some things here to make it more inviting, more looking like a Leader in Me school. And leadership is not specifically with Mike and Tracy being leaders, but it's really talking about how kids can take active leadership roles in their building, in their academics, and their school culture. So those are our first couple of groups that we'll be forming. So we'll have more to share with you all about that. Our RTI groups are set up. We have one for literacy, which we're really focusing on this year. Mike talked a little bit about, Mr. Carpentieri talked about our STAR assessments. And our STAR assessments, we did an end-of-the-year STAR assessment, and coming up by next Friday, we'll have our beginning-of-the-year STAR assessment, and that will give us a foundation of what we should be working on with kids in literacy and math. And that's all I had to share with you this evening.
Any questions for Mr. Krebs from the board? Thank you, Scott. Caleb, you're up.
All right, there we go. All right, well, normally I go in and I sit down in Tracy's office and I ask what she's going to announce and what she wants me to, and I didn't this time. And so just like Scott Krebs, half of this has already been said. So the school tax bills, they were mailed. I don't know, actually, Nancy, if you've gotten any in yet, because they've been delayed. Today. You did? Oh, beautiful. Okay, awesome. So they did go out, and a number of schools were held up. I mean, there were a number that had gone out on the 1st. One actually had gone out on the 25th, and nobody had received the bills yet. And sorry, but I know you worked at the post office, so I was like, did any of them come through? So there we go. So the tax bills are in. That's good. Okay. So the tax bills, so the rate went up 2.2%. But if you're in certain towns, it went up more because of the equalization rate. And then the other thing that affected it this year, which was unfortunate, is New York reduced STAR pretty much across the board. That's actually in Port Jervis too. So your STAR exemption went down just a bit to add insult to injury. That has nothing to do with the school, but just, don't shoot the messenger. Transportation, we're looking to do that comprehensive efficiency study. One of the things they wanted, I talked to you guys about this in May, but one of the things they wanted was to get ridership data, which is something that's hard to do at the end of the year because you're not getting your typical ridership, and then you've got the summer. So I'm looking to get that started. It's going to cost about $19,500. It was in the budget. It's in a blob. So when you look at the transportation budget and it just says contractual and it says $80,000, part of that is this. It's also aidable. And the idea behind this is 3 things that they're going to do. One, they're going to see if we can reduce the number of runs, or if we'll be able to in the future, based on our enrollment. So right now we do 6 runs at each. Melissa works on it. Right now there's absolutely no way we're going to do it, but the idea for the study is similar to like we do with the demographic studies. It's a 5-year type thing. A major question that we want to ask is the transitioning to electric. What are schools doing? How much is it going to cost? What kind of electric supply are we getting in? That's actually the bulk of it, because we have no idea what we're going to be getting ourselves into. And we don't know if it's going to come to fruition, but right now, 2027 is when they want us to do it. And it seems like it's far, but if you need to do a bond or something like that, it's really not. So we're starting with that.
Is there any scuttlebutt about a grant for the government since they're forcing us to do this?
Yes, yeah, there is.
You're talking big money.
Yeah, so they're talking about giving grants for the charging stations themselves. Some of the stuff, though, they were talking about just getting you the transportation aid, which is only 40%. you know. But that's part of what I want them to come in and kind of do, is say, like, you're going to need X amount of charging stations. This is what they're getting right now. This is how much they cost. This is what state aid is coming through the pipeline. And then the other thing, which is way far down the line, is if enrollment has actually stayed pretty level. So it actually hasn't been decreasing the last 3 years. It's been hovering right around 458, 470. Now it's 466. So, but if it is supposed to decline, what do the runs look like in the future, 5 years from now? Because when I go out to release new buses or do something like that, I don't want to buy more buses than I need. Then I don't want to run more runs than I have to. So I'm going to have them start that. With the facilities, she already touched on, we got our stuff to SED. We need to get an asbestos abatement letter that we'll have in a couple weeks. There's still some stuff on the roof that we're waiting for, so the estimate from the state contract came a little bit higher than we had in the budget, in the new budget. So the new budget has the roof considerably less and us investing more in the fields, so we're working on that. Right now, I mean, the numbers look pretty good in terms of staying within budget and getting everything we wanted. And then in school lunch, we are on CEP in both buildings again. Also, New York restored the COVID level fundings of cafeteria. So you guys, Scott, you've now been here 5 years, Amador, you've been here longer. Usually, before COVID funding, the cafeteria pretty much always runs a deficit. It did this year too. When you guys get the audit, it's going to be right around 50,000, which is what it always used to run. During COVID, we'd put $20,000 to $30,000 surplus. They're going back to that level of funding. Good. So I'm expecting well, maybe not a surplus this year because our refrigerator broke and our washing machine broke, but we'll have the money for it without a deficit, which is good, because the deficit ultimately ends up getting paid for by real estate taxes. So that gives us 50,000 more to keep in the general fund. That's all I had for right now. I wanted to mostly leave it to them because it's the start of school and it's not really a finance meeting.
Appreciate that. Any questions for Caleb from the board? All good? All right, thank you, Caleb.
Yep.
I was down here last Thursday to welcome everybody back. It went well. Saw a lot of smiles on people's faces. It's hot, so I'm not going to go on. I want to welcome Emily to the team. I think you're going to be a good fit. I heard nothing but good things about you. So welcome here, and I think you'll have fun. Moving on. Public comment on the consent agenda items only. Any public comment? At this point, I need a motion to approve consent items 501 through 806.
I'll make the motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You can't leave now. You've just been hired. Now looking. You can't leave now. You've just been hired. You've been approved. Old business. Any old business come before the board? No. Any new business? No. Second public comment. Anybody has any questions or want to discuss anything? All good? At this time, I will take a motion to enter into, hold on. Yep, executive session discussing personnel only with just the 5 board members at this time. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor.
Aye.
The next meeting will be held on Thursday, October 12th, 2023, regular meeting at Junior Senior High School at 6 p.m. I intend there'll be no business after executive session, so thanks for coming and stay cool.